Welcome back to KJ's channel. Sorry I haven't done anything the last couple of days. It's just been kind of boring just hanging here at the house. You're doing normal everyday stuff. So that's why I haven't done anything. But today we are heading to Miles City. We got to pick up our groceries for the next few weeks before we leave on our adventure. And yeah, let's talk about what we have coming up and what that means for me as a pastor scheduling that in the church. So we have about 3 weeks before we go to North Carolina. Next week is a normal week-ish. We do have to make a trip to Billings, and then we are going to pick up my dad. And the week after that, Jeremiah and I will spend a week on the island with him. Then the week after that, we're going to be flying down to North Carolina. So we have about 3 weeks.
I shut my foot in the door.
And so we're doing the Walmart thing where we're getting enough groceries for 3 weeks in preparation for that. And then the next 4 Sundays, we're going to be gone. Well, I won't be preaching. We'll be back in time for that 4th Sunday. And so that's created the need to do some planning on our part, make sure we get everything done. All right, we're back. And I got a new mount for my microphone, so you shouldn't see it over here on the side anymore. But as I was talking about the planning for our trips, I've been blessed. I've never really had to deal with the whole issue of counting hours or anything like that since I've been here in Jordan. The first couple of years, I very rarely ever missed a Sunday, and I was always there when people needed me. So there was never any of this, you need to do a timesheet and know when you're here, when you're not, how many hours, vacation days, all that kind of stuff. We've never really had to worry about that. Generally, we take about 2 weeks, and most of the time I would schedule that to where I only missed one Sunday. And that worked pretty well for us. But now that the kids are getting older and we want to do more on vacations, we want to see more people, we're taking a little bit longer ones. And the church doesn't seem to be bothered by it. I make sure the pulpit is filled and that there's somebody here in case of emergencies, and it's always kind of worked out pretty good. But there's a few things that I do need to make sure that I get taken care of before we take off. Sorry about that. Had a windshield chip on the way down to Miles City, so I had to fix that when we got home. Good thing about being able to do that. Get your device. But one of the first things that you have to think about if you're going to go on vacation as a pastor in a small town is who is going to preach. See, unlike bigger churches, most of the churches out here don't have multiple men who can preach. We've been blessed. We've been able to have a couple of those, but generally speaking, there's not. So we've always had to kind of figure out who can preach. And when you're in a small church, you know, paying somebody to fill the pulpit is kind of hard. But it's something that's worthwhile. If you're out there and you're a small church, maybe you're not a pastor, but you're just a small church and you like this video, think about how much you pay guys to fill the pulpit. They've put in, you know, several hours of work to prepare a sermon, and then if they have to drive there and give of their time and effort to do that, make sure you compensate them well. So that's a big encouragement. We're going to have different people that come. We've got some different guys lined up to speak here. It'll be really good for our church. The other thing you have to think of is pastoral emergencies. What if somebody is in the hospital? What if somebody passes? What if something comes up and somebody needs their pastor? In the age now where we have phones, I never not answer the phone if one of my church members calls. Even if I'm on vacation, I just feel like that's a calling and a privilege to be their pastor. Not a job, and so I don't do that. But they've always been very, very considerate of my time away and my time to go on vacation, and don't hardly ever call me. But I do have somebody lined up that will be able to handle any emergencies that I can't get back for. So kind of line that up too. We also have to think about our animals, who's going to take care of the house. We got to make sure the church gets cleaned. We got to make sure music is covered. We got to make sure Sunday school classes are covered. It's a lot to think about.